Welcome to the club, buddy.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Hotelzime. We back. We are back. We are back because it was crazy interference and nonsense. So I wanted it to be, a fine environment for us to just chill out for a little bit. The void has been banished. I sure hope so. If it happens here, it means there is something wrong somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, that's the thing with that. Cheesiest, thank you for the resub, appreciate you. But yeah, obviously incredible Tennocon, like absolutely fantastic. But I have a mighty need to, number one, discuss it, and number two, we have to go over the bingo board. Because we have to argue about what we have that is definitely on here. So I can't pull the bingo board up other than I have tablet. I have tablet of bingo board. I can't pull it up on the stream backpack for 1,000 obvious reasons. Actually, can I? Wait. Hold on. Wait. I think I can. I don't know if this will work.
I have new pockets.
Yeah, I think actually this will work. Peak Tennocon. Yeah, no, this Tennocon was absolutely incredible. Here, let's see if we can get the, because I do have a laptop here now, which makes my life 1,000,000,000% easier. Oh, it's gonna work. Any cool folks in the downtime? Yeah, we talked to Danny and Kaz on the way out. Also, the orbs that Sarah was collecting. Rachel also signed one, right? Rachel, Danny, and Kaz all signed one.
And Jim.
All signed one. So a few DE signatures on some of them. We are planning on those being a giveaway. Probably once we return from Tennocon, that should be a thing that we'll be doing.
Batteries not included.
Batteries not included. There won't be batteries in them.
There's no way to turn them off.
Yeah, because there's no way.
Shipping.
They don't have a way to turn them off. So that'll be a whole thing. Let me just go. Yeah, it is very peak Tennocon though, for real. Will this allow me to show the thing? Let me just go here. I think it crashed. Yeah, this Tennocon was incredible. I'll just skip the Gooner bits of the reveals and move right onto the lore, I guess. Here we go. Okay, there's not a reasonable way for me to do this without like probably fucking something up, so I won't do it. Okay, so anyway, bingo board though. I'm just gonna read everything in order from top left to the bottom right. So we had Rover Fight the Power, which is basically Gurren Lagann. Danny gave me permission to fill that one in. She was like, it's on the edge, but it's close enough. So we have that one. New player experience improvements was the next. That one counts because the new teaching quest, that very counts for that. I think the next one is arguable, which is at least 2 reworks was on the board. We have the Oberon rework, but I don't know if the quest counts.
No.
Sarah says no.
No, it's not a rework.
Sarah says it's not a rework. It is a new thing.
Yeah.
I also tend to think it's not a rework. But the top line for that doesn't matter too much because the next one was Aliens and then Inside the Sun, and we got neither. It's not a focus rework, it's a focus addition.
Welcome to the club.
No, focus school ultimates definitely don't count. That's an addition to that system. That does not count. Yeah, it's a focus expansion. Focus expansion is what that was. Yeah, no operator rework. It is an expansion. It's a the operator visual rework we already knew was happening, so I can't count that.
What is happening?
I'll tell you after the stream is over what's happening. Sorry about noises, everybody. So is that your Discord or mine? It's mine. Here, I'll turn my notifications off on my phone. There's many things happening after this small stream is over. Okay, raids didn't get it. We didn't get it. So we missed at least 2 reworks. We missed Aliens, we missed Inside the Sun, we missed raids. Tau Time, we got Tau Time. So that means we've got 3 on the diagonal, but I know we're gonna miss 1 on that diagonal. Yanta Rambling Payoff did not get it. Time travel, we did get it because I did clarify that a hard flashback counts as time travel, which is what we saw. We saw like a hard flashback to like what seems to be what kicks off the old war. Like it seems like that's probably what we're getting is like it's called it's called the old peace. So it seems to be like what actually kicks off and causes the old war. It seems to be what we're going to see. So time travel we got. A new Kim style system. The big Kim expansion, I think it's on the edge. It's on the edge, I think. Like a 3 Warframe extension of that system. I don't know if that counts. They're crazy they don't just add a proper end game. I was really hoping to see raids. I don't think raids means it's a proper end game. I assume that comes with the Devil's Triad. Yeah, the Devil's Triad. Those are the new protos. Probably post Old War because the Tenno are there with Warframes. Well, so that's a confusing thing about this though, is that's actually like a heavily confusing bit. But like, we basically have to assume that Ballas was lying, because I think he's our only source on that. Because they're romanceable, I'd say it counts. I would tend to say so too. So like, let's say we got new Kim style system. I'm gonna give us yes. More Stalker, did not get it. We did not get more Stalker. That was on here. In-game collab, we also missed on. New named Tenno, I really thought for a minute there that we were going to get, and we might get it in the actual quest, but we did not see them. You know, a peace treaty unless there was a war. Well, are we saying that it's like an alternative past then? Because I maybe. Adis is a sentient, not a Tenno. This is something about how they used to be at war. I'll have to re-go through everything. Yeah, they're polluted memories. Yeah, it could be an alternate history. Oh, you know what it could be, actually? It could be because of the changes in 1999, they can now edit parts of their own history. I could see that. Like, that's actually possible. Could be if the Zaramon made it to Tau. Maybe? I think since you take into consideration what Nessie said, two separate versions. Two separate versions. Did you not figure it out yet? I think Operator nor Drifter is real, and the real kid arrived in Tau. Yeah, it could be a third version. Yeah, because the Orokin are still around, the Grineer are around, the Dax are enemies. The flash when Lotus connects with us is an eyeless Margulis. Oh. We aren't using the Drifter for this Tau quest, from what I'm getting from the video they had. Yeah. No, that's the new Operator visual. Could be the history Natasha showed to turn the Tenno on the Orokin. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, the fresh air and stuff is going to be really good. But yeah, there's some interesting questions to be answered. I'm going to have to like do like a deep dive and see like if there's anything that enables that in our current timeline, or if there's enough stuff that's fucked up that something has to be going on. It might be that there's enough stuff that's... I thought it was just like some Ballas sourced information that could have just been a hard lie. We'll have to look deeper into that. Okay. All right, so yeah, that's a thing. So okay, so we did not again, we'll go back to the bingo board. We did not get a new named Tenno. I do think it's definitely still on the table. PvP not mentioned. We do get that space because they didn't talk about it. So that's the dream. Random loadouts again. We did not get that. Digital Extremes is a music company that also makes a game. Hard got that one. And then somehow Pazul returned. Pazul's mention in the narrative panel, I'm going to count. Because, like, man, I thought they all forgot about that boy. So I'm going to count that one. We got that one. Railjack Exploration Game Mode, did not get it all. And Parvos Relevant, we did not get. New Faction, the Separatists count for that. We do get New Faction. Lotus Setup Payoff, I think we're getting it. I think that what we got counts, personally. Like her being like the like supporter that's like causing like this memory dive. I think that is like kind of counting. I think that's like, I think that her actions that are being taken that we're seeing in the quest count as her becoming the witch. I think that's like, I think this is the payoff to that. So, like, I think that counts for sure. Evolved sentience, hard counts. Hard counts for evolved sentience. Next update will be peak. I think so. Yeah, no, this update looks like it's going to be really crazy, especially like getting old piece leading into like new Tau question mark. Is it really evolved if it's in the past? Yes, I think that still counts. They literally say like evolved. They literally say evolved, like that they are like an evolved form of a sentient. So that hard counts. Yeah, then we get to the one that we are like. So there's an edge case where you can count this and you can give us a bingo, because the Albert cosplayer walked around and aura farmed the whole convention, and that boy never came up. The whole time. Albert's not even talked about, but Albert's cosplayer was on the floor and on stages and on everything and just aura farming at length, and none appearances on screen. Yeah, so I think we can count that one. And then Prime Warframe Graveyard, we hard line got that one. So I think the bottom row, there's an argument to say no, but I think we did end up with a bingo, but man, was it scattered above that. Albert was in the Devil Trio trailer. That's, you know, actually, not visually, but yes, that's true, actually. That's true. Yeah, he talked in the Demon Reveal. Yeah, no, he was not visually there. That's a bingo. We got the whole bottom row. Not the row I imagined. I did not think the whole bottom row was the one we were going to get. That's for absolutely sure. Yeah, not shit was explained in that trailer for sure. Looking forward to having extra power on my screen for at least 7 minutes. I think we'll see more of Albert when we go to the current town. That's probably right. Did I see the frame Red was talking about yet? Uriel? What's this about random loadouts? We had a bingo board. I was just going over like what we got and what we didn't get. Okay, now that we have a confirmed bingo, let's just talk about just how Tennocon go, which was incredible. Whole thing was incredible. The concert, for those of you that saw it here or saw it on their stream or whatever, absolutely fantastic the whole way through. Really good stuff. Meeting everybody, incredible. Meeting up with like, you know, just like devs that we've talked to. For those that saw it earlier in like the actual Tennocon stream, getting to talk to Kat at length about like different like lore things and how the Kim system went and like just like the spaghetti that is that system. Super incredible. The actual, so this also mid-break, the soul frame stuff, super cool. Really good to see way more enemies, new tile set. It looks like it's in the northern region of the map that they've kind of soft been redoing over like the last few updates anyway. So that's cool that area is probably going to get more fleshed out, as it's one of the rougher areas on like the main map currently. So the Bromia stuff looks really cool. The bear armor we already kind of knew from the concept art was super sick, but it looks great in game. So Soulframe stuff seems to be proceeding nicely. Other like baseline improvements, like they talked about a lot, like doing new weapon stuff and like kind of redoing a lot of combat things, which is the stuff that I talk about on stream as being the things that they need to focus on for like some of the stuff that's older, like dual daggers and for like the pole arms. But it seems like that's what they're doing. So it was purely good news, and also everybody has access to Soulframe now as long as they sign up this weekend or have ever signed up in the past. So that's all really great. So Soulframe aside, like that was all great dev stream, really good news across the board. Then beyond that, the actual, all the other panels that we had, we saw all of the other panels. The Sounds of the System I missed a little bit because I was grabbing food and stuff and doing some things, and you guys saw that more than me, actually, hilariously. If you were watching through my camera. But so Sounds of the System had just like mostly interesting dev stuff. There's like a few interesting things here and there, but no like crazy lore stuff. The narrative panel was very interesting just for like so like we know now that they do have kind of like a brand Bible type beat that they are building that we know they didn't have in the past, and that's really good for like consistency going forward. I hope that like there's some way at some point, hopefully I can talk to Adrian at some point, which I think would be very cool, who is one of the other narrative designers, as he seemed to have a lot to say, though of course spoiler stuff is always the danger with that type of stuff, but he seemed incredibly invested in like where everything is going and getting payoff for a bunch of stuff, which is super awesome to hear. And then we had the art stuff. Obviously, we saw some of the things early, the devil frame and all of that good business. And then the actual main panel itself. So we have the 3 new protos, which all look great. Not what I guessed. I guessed Mesa and Ash. I thought it was going to be like Mesa, Ash, a new one, and it was going to be like a group of assassins type beat. That's like why my guess was that. It's not that at all. We're going to church. There's a devil, there's a nun, and there's a priest, and that's Harrow and Wisp. Wisp as a nun is like very funny given the way people feel about her. Yeah, that seems like it'll be very interesting. That update is this year. That's our next big update. Caliban Prime does look cool. Caliban Prime makes way more sense, and I'm way more like totally into it with the new quest kind of like context for like where it's like going to be in game. I think that's all very cool. Caliban obviously has gotten like more of a play style with his new augment and stuff, so I think that's like kind of good across the board. It's also interesting. Actually, wait, the Caliban thing doesn't make any. I wonder if this is going to be like a interesting thing with Era in the past, because we know Era made Caliban, but is it going to be like an alternative Era that made Caliban the right way in a different past or something with like the Prime Caliban? That's kind of a weird one. There's a lot of questions about that. That was Wisp. I thought it was Equinox. It is not Equinox. That is Wisp. Wisp leading me astray, not gonna lie. Oh man. Okay, but yeah, that update looks really cool. And then obviously like the old piece update. Confusion aside from like trying to nail down like lore wise what exactly is causing things, because there might be like more context needed if it is like being caused by the events of 1999, making the past change in like specific ways, or like if the Lotus is hooking up to us in also notably that pool that Lloyd, Margulis, and your operator are in. I think that is like Umbra's pool, which is kind of an interesting one. So I think that's on the moon. So that's an interesting one. So that's when the old piece takes place. They mentioned there was a war, but that was over. But the old war ended with the Naga drums and Massacre of the Empire. Right, and the Orokin are still alive in this one. And so, yeah, like what is... Yeah, that's like the old piece is a really interesting one, because they could be referring to any war. Like it could be kind of like a little bit of a bait and switch type beat where like there was a war, but not the old war yet. Or if the old war encompasses this small chunk of peace in a part of it, is possible too. Yeah, it could be a piece within the war. Exactly, that's also true. Like it could all be during the old war, but because like there's still clearly conflict happening. But yeah, it looks super cool. Like the focus expansion for ultimates and stuff seems really neat. And like, you know, just have the sentience becoming like getting more sentient characters, even if it's in whatever is causing this, I think is super interesting. The giant sentient mech was super sick. The sentient boss looked like it had like some like real mechanic introductions to be giving us, like the flame wall where there's only one way through type stuff, like the spinning flames that like, you know, keep you out of a certain area and stuff. Seems like there's more mechanical depth stuff happening there. And I do think we're gonna get like, as a quest, I think we're going to get flashes of whatever the operator is seeing, and we'll skip around in it a little bit and have to piece things together, is the kind of vibe I got from us, like, you know, getting flashback to the operator, like waking up in the pool and being like, fuck. But yeah, the other thing that's interesting is that, like, yeah, if the old piece is then kicking off the old war, us killing like that sentient that we see could be part of like the chain of events that leads to the old war as well. There's a lot of stuff. We haven't talked about this yet, but a new call, the name of the new frame. I may have said Uriel at some point as a guess. They're being called Truth Blooms out of luck. Old piece implies a new piece. That's true. That's true. And that's an interesting thing too. Is like the old piece. Yeah, if you're doing like old piece and then leading to the new piece, that's interesting because that means that if it is like a past rewrite, you would get the old piece, which would lead to the new piece whenever you kind of like do a universe rewrite a little bit. And they might need to do a universe rewrite because it kind of like wipes away all the sins of 10 years of writing and not thinking about it too much. So that might be really desirable on the dev end. So that's an interesting one for like what they decide to do. But yeah, overall, Tennocon was really, really fantastic. I'm super interested for like where it'll going. I will do a deeper dive on it. How do you explain the decks like enemy type? Well, they're like the Orokin are enemies still, and the decks were like infinitely loyal to the Orokin. That's like what a bunch of like the outer dialogue in that was. Creating a better world through eternalism, indeed. So I guess Exhale Prime just reappearing in story. Yeah, Exhale Prime being there, that's probably just going to be playable only for the quest, I don't think. Like, there's a chance that mastery gets given to players who don't have Exhale Prime, and I'm way into that, that's cool. But I don't think it means that, like, people are going to get Exhale Prime or anything like that. Some people thought that might be the case. I don't think these wants to open that can of worms at all. But yeah, I think it was all super cool. I'm going to argue that we did get a bingo on our board on that whole bottom row there and got a smattering of above things. So, yeah, just a ton of really good stuff. Absolutely stellar Tennocon. Good things all around. But yeah, for me, though, the backpack is running this right now. I'm going to head out and go say hello to some content creator friends and things. So that is going to do it for stream here. I will see you all when I return. There's some possible chance of another stream before then, but don't hold your breath too much for it. But yeah, I think the Tennocon was a huge win overall. It was a fantastic time in person. Hopefully you guys had fun watching it through like my shoulder/chest cam setup or on top of the backpack in your own seat for a bunch of the stuff. And thank you everybody for the subs, the bits, like, you know, everyone that's doing, is it right here? I think it's right here. This is the factor stuff is much appreciated. I see we're like 5 on that, which is a ways off our goal, but good news about the factor thing, which you can link to whoever, I don't care, that you have to be a viewer in order to get the 50% off and all that good business. That goal runs for a month. So you guys still have plenty of time to get there and hit the additional goals for that. But yeah, please upload the VOD to YouTube. That's my plan. I am going to do that. That will be a YouTube video that is going to go up. But yeah, that's what's going on for me currently. Thanks all for hanging out for the Tennocon stuff. It was really good to have you all joining. Did you see Kat after they were hexed for new frames? Probably, yeah. I don't think they've been avoidant of poly, so I would think so. But yeah, thank you everybody. I will see you at the very least in a few days whenever I return home. But goodbye!